Question of the day. When you think of these words, the animated series, what pops in your head first? Free association writing. What pops in your head first? Some of you say Batman the Animated Series. Others of you will say X-Men the Animated Series. Either way, I know that you grew up in the 90s, most likely. At least you had some sort of interaction with the early 90s, mid-90s when it comes to that. Because Heroclix has really dug deep into the nostalgia of that early 90s lately because they did a Batman the Animated Series set, really good. Now they've done arguably one of the best, if not the best, probably the second best superhero cartoon of all time, and that would be X-Men the Animated Series. And oh my gosh, is there a lot to love in here. So we're going to unbox a brick. We're going to look at it with a little bit of time lapse. We're going to look at it with just some fun unboxing stuff. Then we're going to take a look at some of the pulls that we got from this list. Then we're going to talk about how good or how bad this set is comparatively just from the pulls alone. But I will tease that we do have WWE Heroclix coming soon, and I'm excited about that, really pumped about that. So if you're not a fan of Heroclix yet, this WWE Heroclix that's coming will be what will get you into this if you like wrestling, because it's totally different. It's played on a smaller map, and you're playing as wrestlers. Oh, yeah. Anyway, let's take a look right now what we got out of the X-Men Animated Series set, and is this one worth it right now? Some of you, Heroclix looks like this, just an absolute utter mess when you first look at it, right? Let's clean this up for a second. Much better, right? A little bit more organization. I should mention that this set comes with Colossals. Every single booster has one of these Colossal figures. Some are common, some are rare, some are in fact super rare, and some are chases. Let's zoom in a little bit and get a little nice focus on this so you can see these Colossals. Good looking sculpt for that Sentinel there. You get a Juggernaut here. Look at that Juggernaut. He's beating the floor. Stuff's coming out of the ground. You gotta love that. Jamie Madrox climbing all over himself because he is in fact multiple man. Onslaught, right? X-Men versus Street Fighter. One of those had him as the boss. Wendigo, Nimrod from Days of Future Past, the comic, or the cartoon, excuse me, where Bishop goes back in time. I can't remember. They do it different in the comic than they do in the cartoon, than they do in the movie. Also some great 90s sculpts here. Look at that Magneto. You've got Cyclops here in that Jim Lee costume. It is the best version of Cyclops, no matter what. Cable, chubby Cable. Love it. Love chubby Rob Liefeld Cable. You get a nice super rare here of this Colossus. I think that's Age of Apocalypse Colossus. A little classic Wolverine. Rogue, get ready. Jubilee, Beast, and then look, Sabretooth. Everybody loves a good Sabretooth piece. I'm so glad to see him getting some love. Now, the other things that are here, you have the Dyson token pack, which I didn't even open this yet because I wanted to show you on here how gorgeous these look. You have the Dyson tokens, which first of all have Pogs on the back. Every single one of these is a Pog, which is fantastic, which means that not only are these useful for keeping track of your actions, there are little slight Pogs on the back of this that you can use for your team building if you need to fill a couple points, or some of these provide special actions and things like that. So you have your Pogs on the back, characters on the front. There's Rogue, Gambit, Jubilee, Beast, Storm, and Wolverine. Man, I love this lineup. It's one of my favorites of all time. Now these Pogs, some of them are worth, how do you use these actually? Because it must call for how to use them, because I don't see anywhere what you sub these in for. They must be subbed in for the main set. That's exactly what they are. They're subbed in for the main set thing. So if you have these characters that provide these, here's the actual Pog for it. It's a nice permanent Pog as opposed to having to make one yourself. So that is a cool little idea. Plus the pictures on the front. Nice dice with the Dark Phoenix Saga symbol on them. Gotta love that. Now let's take a look at a few pieces in particular, and then we'll call this thing an end of day. So you've already gotten to see a lot of these fantastic sculpts, but let's take a look at what some of these do. Love Gambit, one of my favorite characters of all time. You can do probability control when being chased by somebody big to you. So like, Sentinel or Onslaught. Force Blast, Running Shot, Stealth, right there on top dial. I love Gambit, and for 70 points, it's nice to see he's not a pushover with what he gets there with that 8-11-3. So good stuff there with Gambit. Coming up next, Onslaught. Behind the scenes, Onslaught can't be targeted by opposing characters 5 or more squares away. I like that. Anytime you get a nice beater who can just sit back in the background. And all these traits come when you play him, no matter what. Protected, Mind Control, Outwit, Pinside. Once per turn, Onslaught can use Incapacitate as free, or Mind Control as free, or Telekinesis as free. Well, that's just insane. He's a Psychic Juggernaut. He's unknown. I love this. Kill You, K. Marco. What a splendid idea. So a lot of story stuff here happening with this Onslaught character. Really good stuff. And then his dials are right here. Comes with Brotherhood of Evil Mutants and X-Men. Really big dials, 900 points, 500 to 125. So you can play him as a boss battle if you want to fight against him in a 1,000-point game. Just good stuff to see that those boss battle options are there and those really high point cost values are there if you want to do that. I mean, think about it. That's a long dial for 900 points. Colossus in this Mutant Messiah costume. Love the way this looks, man. This is fantastic. At the beginning of the game, for all characters with this trait, choose a friendly character with the Acolytes or Brotherhood of Mutants or X-Men keyword. That character can use Mastermind, but only to use characters with this trait. So, good looking sculpt standing up there on that rock. And then obviously his dial right here is actually pretty basic, 75 points, but he's just a beater. He's got charge, super strength with a 4. So I mean, you know, he can do a lot of damage with that. And his defense superpower there is defend invincible during an attack. Adjacent friendly characters that replace their defense value with Colossus can use invulnerable. Well, that's cool. Cable, nice to see this 90s looking Cable. Futuristic hologram. During the force construction, you may add up to 2 number 15 cables at the start. I love that when you can add more of the same figure. So good stuff there. A lot of special powers and a stop click down there so when you play him at that hologram value. So good stuff. Magneto, he's very much playing the 90s villain Magneto, which is great. So, you know, love seeing that. Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Love this low point value cost stuff. 75 points seems to be the sweet spot. Here, same thing. Super strength. When Juggernaut is given a move action after actions resolve or after resolutions destroy all adjacent pieces of blocking terrain, then he can use Quake at no cost. Well, that's just Juggernaut as it can be, right? If you destroy 3 or more blocks of terrain, you can remove an action token from him. Well, that's awesome. So it's like he gets to move for free essentially if you're really careful. Man, I love that. He's protected from Incap just like the show. I mean, animated series, gosh, so great. Jean Grey in that costume. I love the Jim Lee costume here. They kind of changed the colors a little bit, and I love that. Scott, so Jean and Scott have these two things together where they work off of each other. Good stuff, you know, just solid, you know, manipulator, 50 points there. No probability control there. I would have thought she'd had something like that, maybe just a little bit, but Rogue, just a nice beater for 60 points. She's got charge 11-4, so she's really strong, and then she can use steel energy just like, you know, Rogue would do. Sabretooth, here we go. Feral resilience, just a monster, man. Look at him, just a monster, and he looks good. Sculpt looks good. Blades, claws, fangs. Gotta love anything like charge, flurry, stealth, and blades. Gosh, good set all around. So that's it. Overall, pretty neat set, right? I mean, you've got all the characters you love from the 90s, and I'm talking about deep, obscure ones that you remember from the cartoon show, right? You get your Wolverine, you get your Jean Grey, your Cyclops, your Rogue, all of that Jim Lee-inspired animated series style costuming is here, and it's here to love. It's so good. So top notch on sculpts. Judging this set on sculpts alone and look alone, it's a fantastic set. Even if you don't play Heroclix but you love 90s X-Men like I do, this is something you're going to want to go get some of just to put on your shelf. I mean, for goodness sakes, people buy those Dorbs Funkos, right, that are only about this big. This is a much better way to do that, to really pay homage to your characters, because you can play a game with these characters. But so look alone, great set. Pieces alone, good stuff out of here, right? I mean, you saw some of the pieces that we pulled and the overview and all that sort of stuff. So fun set overall. If you're not into Heroclix yet, let the X-Men animated series set get you in to playing this incredible miniatures game all about any type of superhero. And by seeing this set, you see any type of superhero out there. Also, as well as, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, WWE, Star Trek, Heroclix. So make sure to check this game out. It is a phenomenal miniatures game. Slight time to learn it, but it's not very hard to get into and learn, because there are a lot of powers. get a nice reference card, get a nice rule book, and you can get into playing this game rather quickly and not get lost in the minutia of rules. So I'm Brian Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram at Dice Tower Brian for more videos, overviews, painting tutorials, all that sort of stuff. And until next time, we'll see you right here on the Dice Tower.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.